So should you invest in Ekpe for short stay and Airbnb? Now, I've received inquiries from different investors who want to go into short stay investments or Airbnb investments, and sometimes also they have asked me if investing in Ekpe for short stay is good for investment. So I'll be doing a video about short stay in Ekpe, the current market, the potential of the market, and also if it makes any sense for you to invest either in a 1-bed, a 2-bed, or a 3-bed for short stay in Ekpe right now. In case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this is Meet the Property channel, and this will discuss everything real estate for those who want to invest, for those who are already investing, and for those who have invested in real estate here in Lagos. So we share tips, guides, and advice on locations, documentations, risk, return on investments that are attached to each of the opportunities in real estate. So after you have watched this particular video, I will also suggest you also go to our previous videos. That topics I've shared about short stay, topics I've talked about Ekpe, Lekki, Lekki, and so many other different locations. You are definitely going to learn a lot. So should you invest in Ekpe for short stay, or is Ekpe a really ideal place for short stay investment? Now, for those who have already discussed with me or inquired about short stay investments, they are going to be familiar with some of the things I'm going to be explaining in this video. Now, in Lagos, we have existing market for short stay, and we have emerging market for short stay. Now, don't mix it up. And this is very key, particularly if you have already invested for short stay or you're about to invest, because this will determine the occupancy rates, your return on investment, and it's going to save you a lot of heartaches and headaches after you have invested. Now, when we talk about existing market for short stay, we're talking about locations where there's already demand, where there's already markets, available markets for short stay, and where people are already making money from short stay. I'm talking about places like Ikoyi, Victoria Island, Banana Island, Lekki Phase 1, Ikate, Chevron, Ikeja GRA. These are all existing markets for short stay. Now, we also have locations which are emerging market for short stay, where a lot of developers and investors have already invested in different massive apartment projects and estate projects that are built majorly for short stay. Emerging markets are places like Xymbolic. There are so many premium service apartment developments in Xymbolic right now. Emerging markets are places like abode GRA, places like Lekki, the beach view part of Lekki, places like Abraham. This one is emerging market for short stay. Now, Ekpe is also an emerging market for short stay. Although right now the Ekpe Resort and Spa is more of like a short stay too, because it's a vacation place where a lot of people go to spend 1 week, spend 2 weeks, spend 1 month, and enjoy some very nice natural ambience, because the Ekpe Resort and Spa also have a water view. So it's a very, very fantastic place. Like Tropicana in Lekki is also like a short stay too, because people go there, lodge for 1 week, 2 weeks, and the charge also is also per night. And they also have a beach. That's a beach view. They even have a boat cruise at La Campagne Tropicana. So all these places you can see. La Campagne is at Lekki, Ekpe Resort and Spa is at Ekpe, and these places are already offering short stay and charges per night. Now, you can invest in these locations too. You can invest in Lekki, somewhere that have a water view or beach view for short stay, and you can invest in Ekpe, maybe inside Isimi, around the Ekpe Resort and Spa, around the Doragushi, around the Lara, depending on wherever you invested in Ekpe. Also, either it has a water view or not, for short stay too. but it's an emerging market. It's not a place where you're going to get 50% occupancy rate or 30% occupancy rate every month. What I mean 50% occupancy rate, there are 30 days, average of 30 days in a month. So 50% occupancy rate means that people will be in your apartment for 15 days. Average of 15 days every month. 30% occupancy rate means that people will be in your apartment average of 9 days in a month. Now, the short stay market in Ekpe is dependent on a lot of factors. Number one factor is that airport. If that airport should be delivered 4 years time, 3 years time, whatever years time, the short stay market in Ekpe will move from emerging markets to existing market immediately. Because a lot of people that want to take a flight, or a lot of people that are departing from a flight, will need a place nearby around that airport where they can stay. Now, the second factor on the Ekpe short stay is the presence of all these estates around that location. Itunu, Lagoon Funds, Ikoyi Phase 3, Isimi. These estates need to be delivered in terms of people need to be staying in these estates. So when people start staying in these estates, it's going to boost the short stay market in that location. And when people start staying in this location, in this estate, so definitely we are looking at 3 years, 4 years time. So that's when the market, the short stay market in Ekpe also can become an existing market. Now, the third factor for the Ekpe short stay is spillover. Now, right now, the short stay market have got to Orchid and somehow Ikota. In a few years, it's going to move to Ibrahima Desonya and Songotedo, maybe in 2 years, 3 years time. So gradually it will be moving and be spilling over. So eventually it will get to Eleko. Eventually it will get to around Ekpe too. And Ekpe has all the factors for a short stay to sell, because Ekpe has a lot of water view and a lot of all these traditional natural ambience. There is a fish market, there is a lot of estates there that are like preserving nature. So a lot of people will be interested to stay in this environment, to stay in this serene environment for the water view, for the nature, for the ambience, for the serenity. And there's a fantastic road network in Ekpe right now, so it's going to make it to sell, but it's not sharp. So if you are investing in Ekpe for short stay, it means that you are trying to position yourself to an emerging market. If the reason for you to invest in Isimi is for short stay, if the reason for you to invest in Lagoon Fund is for short stay, if the reason for you to invest in Itunu is for short stay, it's not bad. So you are trying to position yourself ahead before the market now comes to meet you, but it's not something of sharp. So that means it's not something you open a short stay apartment in Ekpe and then the next day you get people starting to come in. No, it's not going to work like that. Most of the people that will start at the beginning stage right now, if you open a short stay apartment in Ekpe, will be like your close friends, people that just want to patronize because it's you. So, but for a lot of people that will really need a short stay market, a short stay apartment, their preferences will still be Ikoyi, Ikeja GRA, Lekki Phase 1, Victoria Island, at the farthest Chevron Drive. So, does it make sense for you to invest in Ekpe for short stay? Yes. But it's an emerging market. You are positioning yourself. And the big advantage there is that by you investing right now, you are investing early. The entry capital and the entry barrier is low. Because if you want to invest in short stay in Kate right now, you are buying the apartment for like 65 million. You are still going to furnish it. That's another money. You are still going to do adverts. So by the time you start to calculate, you are seeing that the entry capital is like 90 million. But for Ekpe, it's still relatively lower because you can still get a 2-bedroom at maybe 20 million, 16 million, 18 million, all the foundation and all the capital, at least 30 million is there. Although it doesn't make sense for you to furnish it right now because people won't be coming in right now. So it's just better you invest in that property right now, and that's why it still makes a lot of sense too, because the company are already giving 2030. 2030 is like how many years? 7 years. Yes. Between that time, the short stay market in Ekpe should now become existing markets. So by the time they are delivering the estates, that delivering the houses in the estate is going to match exactly what a lot of the people that are want to put it for short stay is going to match it, because at that time the location would have opened up and then the short stay market will now become an existing market. So if you invested in a Xymbolic for short stay, it still makes sense because 2030 is match it. So for a lot of people that are also like looking at the short stay market in Ekpe, also I advise that you also consider around like 2026 to 2030 as like the time for you to actually start into the market. So I also be doing a sequel series where I'm talking about if Chevron is ideal for short stay, if Stangote is ideal for short stays, if Aoya is ideal for short stays, so that you can know each of these locations, you can know the occupancy rate in these locations, you can know the charge per night in these locations, duration that is your investment is going to break even, the expenses, the cost of expenses of running a short stay in these different locations, so that you can decide which one works for you and which one doesn't work for you. Because I know a lot of people abroad are actually looking for places for short stay. Now, in case if you have learned a lot from this video, can you give us a thumb like? Give us a thumb like, but at least I'll try to explain the current market of short stay in Ekpe and when likely the short stay market in Ekpe is set to boom. So if you are interested in any property you can use for short stay in Ekpe, either it's land or houses. We have a lot of estates that are developing houses right now, like preparing investors, positioning investors for short stay in Ekpe. We have a lot. I have 2 bedrooms, I have 3 bedrooms, Poka, Ilara, Ibowo. Very, very nice service estates where you can invest and position yourself for the short stay market that is coming. It's definitely going to come. I can bet it's definitely going to come because a lot of potential is right there in Ekpe. So you can invest early and position yourself in any of this location very, very early. So we have a lot of properties in our portfolio that can match and also position you in Ekpe for the short stay market that is coming there. So thanks once again for watching this video. Thanks once again for being part of the channel, being a big fan, for the comments, the encouragement. I appreciate you guys a lot, and see you next time.